reform movement, something that results in some kind of constitutional amendment, or is this a revolutionary movement?
I don't care. You can call it whatever you want. Words are our tools, unless we make them our masters. Most people have a practical streak, and they want to be able to believe that this kind of activity actually delivers results. And so that's, the burden on a movement is to show that.
We had our chance for reform, and that was Barack Obama. And that was the last chance for reform. Now, Occupy Wall Street, this is a revolution. Whether we know it or not, this is a revolution. Because we are tired of the people, the 1% of the 1%, and what they have done to the country, what they've done to the world. Government is finished, it's not gonna work. I don't care who we vote for, who we put into office, they're bought and paid for before they get there. This is absolutely a revolution.
Really, for us, I think that we're breaking through the apathy, we're breaking through the cynicism, we're breaking through the sense that, we can trust the state or beg the state to make solutions for us, and if they don't make solutions, we're just gonna keep gritting on. When we have massive unemployment in the streets of the Bronx and Brooklyn, and when we have more homes that are empty and owned by banks than we have homeless people, and we could actually house the millions of homeless people we have in this country, people, there is a sense that, if we had a little creativity and a little bit of drive, we could do it. Now we're at that point. We are not hopeless anymore. We're ready to fight.
The moment where there's a general awakening in society about certain realities of numerous situations we find ourselves in, specifically with creating a superclass. And I don't mean hierarchical superclass, but just in terms of magnitude of people involved, of common understanding of what's going on, and we're engaging the powers that be in coming up with a solution out of the crisis we find ourselves in. And the crisis is not just confined to an economical crisis, but it's also a crisis of morals, and it's a crisis of values. A big part of it is storytelling. Ability to tell the story and propagate it to the greater world in various ways pretty much determines whether certain ideas survive or get buried under the onslaught of propaganda.
My name is Dennis. I made this movie, and there are a few things you should know about me right from the jump. I'm not an expert on the economy, climate change, or foreign policy. I'm also not an expert on sustainable farming systems, the history of social movements, or Legos. The Occupy movement has experts on all of those things and more, but I'm not really one of them. I'm a happily married husband, a father of 2 fantastic children. I live on a main street in a small New England town with actual white picket fences. I made this movie for you, me, and everyone we know in the hope that we can create a world where human need comes before corporate greed. So why does it feel almost un-American to say that? Think about it this way. Just go with me for a second here. You know that scene from the Oliver Stone film Wall Street when Gordon Gekko, played by Michael Douglas in a role that would win him an Oscar, appears at a shareholders meeting of a company, Teldar Paper, to defend his actions and his grotesque worldview, and delivers the now famous speech where he says,
"Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. And greed, you mark my words, will not only save Teldar Paper, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA."
Audiences flipped out. They cheered. Everybody in the 80s wanted to be Gordon Gekko. But the thing is this, Oliver Stone wrote it as a piece of satire. Nobody got it. Just the opposite. While Oliver Stone was trying to send up the excesses of the Reagan era, Michael Douglas's portrayal helped inspire a whole generation of slick-back hairdos in double-breasted suits, adopting the greed is good ethos, and pursuing the American dream, as it had come to be defined, now delivers obscene wealth for a very few, while raining poverty and misery down on many, and serving as a homicidal force for others. Because people do, in fact, die for lack of access to health care in the richest country in the world. That's the US of A. Human consumption is, in fact, accelerating the destruction of our planet. People do, in fact, die in wars waged based on lies that profit a precious few. Over 5 million children globally each year do not reach their 5th birthday because they die of starvation. All of this is not because the system that puts man on the moon or can squeeze an entire library onto a computer chip the size of a thumbnail has failed to find a way to solve these problems. Rather, our system, without apology, places corporate greed above human need. And greed, to take back the popular phrase, is not good. Fuck you, Gordon Garrett. The Occupy movement are trying to solve is this one. What would a world look like that had a culture and an economic system that places human need above corporate greed? And how do we bring that world into being? Who cares what it is called? Call it socialism, call it real democracy now, call it Chunky Monkey Cherry Garcia. The world needs to change radically, needs to change dramatically, and it needs to change fast. This documentary is an invitation for you to participate in that positive change. Frankly, because we need you. Yes, you. I know, you're waiting to hear what our one demand is, right? Everyone wants to know, what are your demands? But the thing is this, we are our demands. Get it? Not you, not me, not some Darwinian race to the top of the mountain to collect the most trinkets before we shuffle off this mortal coil, but you, me, and everyone we know. Together, we are our demands. Not next quarter's profits, but people. We know we face challenges, but we think that we can collectively do better at solving the problems that face us than the solutions offered to us by politicians that have been bought and paid for by corporations and Wall Street interests. And we also know that you can't evict an idea whose time has come. Now, can I get a horn section, please?